We may just have a voice actors strike on our hands on Friday if one of the largest unions representing voice actors and video game publishers fail to produce an acceptable contract by then. Now, the union responsible for this, you probably recognise, as I've spoken about them before many moons ago, and it is none other than SAG AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. And they set the strike date yesterday evening, and they have drawn quite the ire from publishers according to their reps ranging from EA to Activision and Take-Two. Now, more than 96% of its membership supported their decision to strike, and of course that gave the national board at SAG AFTRA the option to declare the strike yesterday, but apparently they weren't supposed to be telling us all this, as a statement on behalf of several publishers chided SAG AFTRA for breaking a, quote, mutually agreed upon news blackout on negotiation decisions, and also went on to say that a strike would be self-defeating. According to them, a strike will, quote, only harm their membership, and basically said that SAG AFTRA members appear in about a quarter of video games on the market. And they continued, quote, any strike would not only deny SAG AFTRA's membership work, but this also give their competitors who do not engage union talent a leg up while any strike could be in place. Now, while they're not wrong that union actors may represent a small portion of total voice work in games, but there is an important factor to consider here, and that is some of their members are some of the highest profile names. For example, David Hayter, who of course you know as Snake from Metal Gear, and Jennifer Hale, who has done various voices, including of course the female version of Commander Shepard in Mass Effect, and both of these actors have showed their support for the strike. Now, a strike would forbid union members from working on games for Activision, Disney, EA, Insomniac, Take-Two, WB Games and 5 other employers, and this strike does cover any game that went into production after February 17th, 2015. So basically, any game that's been in development since then would be covered, and this is quite the far-reaching breadth of companies, even if SAG AFTRA's membership is only a quarter of voice actors. Now, I've spoke about this before on my previous video, but it was a while back, so I'll refresh your memory. One of the main sticking points is contingent compensation, basically meaning a specific condition set by the two parties has been met. It's common in movies, but SAG AFTRA actors are insisting on it for video games. Now, basically what they mean by this is, you know, you'll get royalties or something like that, something along those lines, and disclosure is also important. SAG AFTRA are insisting on transparency, so basically you know what you're working on before you actually sign the contract. You know, for example, you don't want your name on the credits of Murder Death Simulator 2017 or something along those lines. But apparently, even if they do end up striking, according to the publisher's statement, any upcoming video games are, quote, already in production, and the majority will be unaffected by any SAG AFTRA strike due to the nature of no strike provisions on the collective bargaining agreement. We anticipate minimal impact on current and near future game releases. Now, from what SAG AFTRA's reps are saying, it is not only the compensation agreement, but you know, transparency and stuff like that, but also the fact that the contract that they're signing a lot of the time is outdated. And Gabriel Casares called on game publishers to, quote, negotiate a modern contract that covers this highly profitable industry. For example, there are odds at how agents participate in auditions, provisions that find voice actors for work, and they have a rather lengthy list of demands which you can find a link to in the description below this video. There is a lot of information there, so do check it out if you're interested. I would highly recommend it, because I've only skimmed the surface of what they're talking about here. To talk about everything they're asking for would be far too long, and there is way more detail than is appropriate for me to go into in this video, so I recommend that you go into this here. As well as voice acting and voice talent, in my opinion, is a bit undervalued in the gaming industry, as we've seen with how famous voices for characters are just replaced. Like, you know, just for example, Kiefer Sutherland replacing David Hayter as Snake, and you know, he did a great job and everything, but David Hayter is Snake, and just replacing him like it doesn't even matter is crazy to me. And you know, for example, Frank West, his voice has been recast for the upcoming Dead Rising, and you know, obviously that's a big part of his character, and they're saying, oh, Frank's back, and I'm like, well, is he really? Is he? And of course, you know, for example, the best iteration of Leon Kennedy, in my opinion, is Resident Evil 4. And part of that was, of course, due to the brilliant voice acting done there. And that guy has not come back as Leon. And is he the same since? No. So, you know, voice actors are definitely undervalued, to be honest, and if we can see them valued a bit more and not treated as just like revolving door talent, that would be nice. But we're going to have to wait and see. It seems the publishers are not too worried about this particular strike, but maybe it will end up affecting them more than they realise. But we'll have to wait and see, because the strike may not even happen. They may reach some sort of agreement before it gets to that point. Of course, we'll update you as soon as more information becomes available. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.